Hey guys, it's Cassie again. Happy Friday again. Just wanted to give a quick. My eyes have been bothering me all day. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. Uh, Maybe I'm not holding them right. I don't know. I had found I just had my great big belly laugh for the day, so it is so awesome to have such such daughters with a great sense of humor. My daughter had acquired a car from my other daughter. We gave my other daughter, my middle daughter, because she has a child, we gave her the newer car. So my daughter gave her car that she was using to the daughter that lives here because she has recently, within the last 4 or 5 months, totaled her car. So she hasn't had a car. She's been using my van to get around everywhere, my Pathfinder, my beautiful baby, to get around everywhere. So she goes online, and when she first got the car, we're so excited. We're getting it like accessories for it, to make it her own, so she doesn't, it doesn't have to like. It's not her sister's car anymore; it's hers. So we just got everything for it. Well, she decided she wanted to get like a Georgia plate. Of course, we're in Georgia, and she wanted to get a Georgia plate to go on the front of it. Well, I don't think when she ordered it and then she sent it to me to order it for her, neither one of us checked the size. So this is the size of the tag that came in. I don't think she's going to be putting that on her car. So we just sat there and laughed about the size of the size of this tag that came in the mail. We're thinking it's going to be the size of a car, to go on a car. No. I'm like, you could hang it on your wall or put it on your dash. That just made her laugh more. So I just got a great big yellow laugh. And then I found this book. Actually, I've had it for a long time. In 2020, we did like the Christmas where I worked, and this really lovely young girl drew my name. We were doing the Secret Santa thing, and I told her one of the things that you write down that you like is like M&Ms and tea and things. The color, my color at the time was the leopard print. I love the leopard print. I still love it. I would wear it every day if I could. But she got me this instead of like an actual sweet tea. She got me this, the sweet tea for the soul. And then I came to this spot. And I was telling some people on my Zoom meeting the other day that when you think about Psalms, you read the Psalms and don't read them in just reading the words. Read them to understand. David had pretty much a really choppy, even though he killed Goliath and all that kind of stuff, he had a choppy like life up until he became king. So he'd been in prison, he'd had all kinds of things happen to him, and he was in his lowest of lows when he wrote most of the Psalms. I don't think anybody knows that. So if you think about how lonely and how he was isolated from everybody in his family, and he was outcast by his country, pretty much, things of that nature, and you read Psalms and you read it in the pain that he has experienced, you'll have a better understanding of Psalm, of how he's, kind of like repenting his sins, and he's damning his old life, and he's calling on God constantly in these songs, saying that he needs his father, he needs his love, and father being God, of course. He needs his love. So here we are, and this is called Tears in a Bottle. This is a page out of this book. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it says, "You have taken account of my wandering. Put my tears in your bottle, and they are not recorded. Are they not recorded in your book?" And this is Psalm 56:8, the 56th chapter, 8th verse, and this is from the AMP Bible. A prisoner in Gath, David was the lowest of lows in his life. The Philistines had captured him, and he felt completely helpless. He called out to God in his sorrow and said that God put his tears in a bottle. Was there really such a bottle filled with David's tears? And does God save our tears in bottles as well? Regardless of whether or not God collected David's tears in a bottle or collects ours as well, he certainly remembered David's sorrows, as he remembers all our weeping. He remembers everything that we endure for his sake on this earth. And someday he will wipe away every tear from our eyes, and there will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. And that is from Revelation 21, verse 4. Now, a faith check. This is at the bottom. This is kind of an explanation of a tear in a bottle. And it says, some believe that in Victorian times, women in mourning carried around a small ornament of blown glass bottles decorated with silver and pewter. Those mourning the loss of a loved one would collect their tears in these bottles called tear catchers or tear bottles. As their tears evaporated with the help of a very special toppers on the bottle, the mourning period would end. Someday our period of mourning will end, and we will forever be with our Father in heaven. So that I had to read to you as I'm trying to help you feel better. That's a piece of advice, piece of way to include your faith. If you read a couple of Psalms and imagine the pain that David the king had gone through before he became king, and after. I think some of it is after also. But if you think about how he felt while he was writing these are not just mere. It's not just mere poetry. These are actually words that he chose to write to God in his time, in his deepest time, in his saddest time. So there is that for you, just a reminder that you can pull yourself up out of a sadness. It may take a while, but if you do it all in a correct fashion, but this is the way, that I can do it. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional, anything. I have studied the medical world, but I'm not licensed at anything. I have suffered depression. My children have suffered depression. I've had friends that suffered depression. I've had friends and family to do the big deed. We're not going there. The big S word. So I kind of pretty much, I suffered from depression for a little over 15 years. And I experienced depression. I don't want to say I suffered. And it feels like now that I look back on those times, it was sort of a suffering, but it took strength to come out of it because I was deep. I was deeply into the depressive world. And it's not a fun place to be. It's not a fun place to wish you weren't here. To wish that your being was not in existence for other people's judgment or for their playthings. Your mistakes and your tribulations become someone else's play toy, and it's just not fair. But I do hope that helps. Psalm has always been in soft. Once I realized that it was written by David, or that it's about David being in his lowest times, I kind of resonated with it more, and I'm hoping that you can also see that this could help you. Maybe your words, you will be reading your own words, and hoping for a better future. I'm Cassie again. This is Cassie's Corner. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Leave me comments. I like the comments for myself, but they do let YouTube know that I have viewer interactions and that they recommend my videos a little bit more, and it's all great. But I don't think of it that way. I'm not monetized, and I'm not trying to be the most popular. I just want to help people to feel better if I can do that. So I do give unsolicited advice. I do give maybe some tips and tricks about how to deal with maybe a depression that you don't feel like you can come out of. The world is great. The world is beautiful. Your life is beautiful. You just got to look at it that way. And I know you'll hear that from a lot of people. You just got to see it in a different light. Yes, you do. Any part. Okay, the only one I don't like is, just don't be sad. Well, if I could change that, I would. It takes practice. It's hard. I'm not, this isn't just a button, like an on and off button, or the switch for the shower that I'm like, turn it on and off. It's not like that. I couldn't control my anger. I couldn't control my sadness. I couldn't control my intrusive thoughts. I had many of them. Forgive me, Lord, but I did. I had many intrusive thoughts. I thought if I just trip this one person and laugh a little bit, I'll be all right. Forgive me. But yeah, I'm really concerned about the future of humanity, and I feel like that we don't do enough for people that are depressed. I don't feel like there's enough programs for people that are depressed. We have therapy, we have psychiatrists, we have all kinds of things, but I just don't think it's enough. I don't think we're doing enough as a people to those that are sad and wanting to leave us in this world when it's not their time, or if it can be helped. Like I said, I had a lot of family members. I have a lot of people that have conducted the big S word and have not made it. I have a daughter. I will repeat, I have a daughter that for a long time thought about not being here. She never said the S word. She just wished she wasn't here, and she caused a lot of pain for herself and her thinking. And she now is like, I'm sorry, I did not realize I caused that much pain for you. And I'm like, look, you're just, I'm happy you're here. I'm just so grateful you're here. And we need to tell our children that from like the very first time that they can understand what you're saying. I'm glad you're here. You're supposed to be here. And if we say that, very often to our children and to ourselves and to the people that you're supposed to be here, it will resonate with them. It will eventually catch on, and they'll be like, okay, I have to be here. Not because I'm being punished, but because I deserve to be here. So, if you have any loved ones that suffer from this god-awful disease, these are the only tricks that that helped me come out of a deep, deep, dark world where I could find no beauty. I could find no, even though there was color in my face, everything was gray. Everything was, I would look at the color for a time and see the color for what it was. Okay, I love the color pink. I love the colors pink and green together. I love those colors, but no matter what the color was that come into my sight, I would see it for a little bit as the color it was, and then for some reason it just went back to a gray, monotone, boring piece of material. And I could not figure it out. I was like, wait, this was once pink. I don't understand. So if you have any of these experiences, but I am here. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. See if I can help you. See if we can work on it together. Leave me a comment about the videos that I post, only because, yes, they do help the algorithm of YouTube, and they will recommend my videos. But I like to know what you're feeling and what you're thinking, and I'm not going to be sad, boo-hooing on this channel. There are certain times that I do touch on religion. The book of Psalm is a book of depression, depressive thoughts from David. So, if that helps you to realize his pain as you're reading it, maybe you'll understand, you're not the first person to feel the way you do. You are absolutely not the first, and you won't be the last. But you need to be the strong person to say, hey, I cannot feel this way anymore. And I always say, one negative thought, one negative experience, one negative situation, bring two things out of it. Find at least two things. Whether it's, at least it shows this person's true color, or, they were right. Maybe I'm not taking constructive criticism well enough. You have to find two positive things in every negative situation. Otherwise, you're just going to go down and not fight for how you feel. You have to come to terms with how you feel, whether it's to yourself or to a friend, to a journal. Journaling is the best. You have to journal. You have to have all these feelings that you have, all these opposing feelings, all this negative stuff. You have to, put it down on some kind of paper and read it later, and you're like, wait, I felt this way? You'll be surprised at the changes that will come when you start practicing positive thinking. It's not easy. It is not. But I am here for you, and I will do all that I can in my power on this silly video I hope this is as important to you as it is to me, but I really feel like that we as people are failing like depressive people. This is not just something to get attention with. This is a real disease, or serotonin, the lack of serotonin, or imbalance, imbalance hormones or whatever. It's all real. Nobody should be able to take away what you feel. Nobody knows what you feel but you. So don't let anybody just shortchange you and say, "Oh, that's not really how you feel." Yeah, it is. Yes, you don't know. You're not my brain. You cannot respect. You cannot. You cannot represent how I feel because you are not me, and I can't represent how anybody else feels. All I can do is tell you what I think works for me and give you hints and tricks and stuff. So again, there's this book, Sweet Tea for the Soul. It helps. It has helped. I don't know if the girl that gave me this book, she may have thought I was depressed. I don't know, but she was just very sweet in giving me this. So I've kept it all this time. 2020. Love her for it. Love you, Veronica. I don't know if she ever watched. I don't know what she does. Y'all have a good day. Have a great weekend. Again, hours, just mere hours, 4 or 5 hours until Freckles gets here. So we'll see what he has. He usually kind of stays up late. He used to stay up all night long. And then he'd wake up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I'm not getting any sleep. Lately, it's the dogs waking me up. Maybe I'll get some sleep today. So I don't know. But y'all have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Find that great big belly laugh. Again, car tag. It was supposed to be a car tag to put on the front of a car. It did not happen. That was my big belly laugh right before I got on the air. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful time. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. I promise. Bye-bye.